time now for him to try to wipe it out as we enter the drafts for our opening match here in Season 16. ONIC on the red side, always, even without Yeb, it seems now they are still going to stick to that red. DEWA on blue. So far, no changes from the meta that we've seen in MSC. The bans have been exactly the same. The Lancelot is now up for grabs with the Arlet too, so DEWA definitely have their mind set on those two picks.
A lot of potential here. See, ONIC kind of taking away a lot more of the damage dealing picks, whereas for DEWA, they're really more so concerned about these playmakers, right? The Tushin, the Kalea, and the Phobias. They don't want to make sure that ONIC can't really use the pressure, because we know ONIC, even at their lowest, they show that they can play around with macro, with pressure, with lanes, right? That's the last thing DEWA wants to allow them to do. And with the final Fanny ban, DEWA now, what do they want to get initially?
Lance, Arlet, those are the two choices that I come to mind instantly here for DEWA, as they've already banned out that Phobius. It will be the Lancelot pickup for DEWA United to start things off now. So what's the response for ONIC? Do they go for the setup for the gold lane? They've already banned out the 1-1, and they go for a signature Granger in the hands of Skylar, and possibly a Farsa. It's either Farsa or Granger. I don't think you want to greed out and get both early on against a Lance, you know?
Forge my
Go for the Farsa and CC. So at least they have burst in the Farsa, because this meta, you're gonna have those quick damage going on quickly. With the burst damage as well, Farsa gives that. CC not so much with the DPS, but Gacha and Harris will picked up. All of these picks will show debut pick, because hey, it's the first day of MPL ID Season 16.
Oof. There's a chance that some of these teams are still hiding, you know, their core strategies. There's no need to really show everything guns blazing all the way from the beginning. For ONIC though, the CC and the Farsa, this aggressive style is something they know how to play against very, very well. And now with two good burst damage options, the Joy and the Farsa dealing magic damage, that means that this Gatot Kacha really won't be as tanky. So I fully expect some more frontline priority for the side of DEWA.
This is a very greedy lineup for ONIC.
Yep.
Joy, Farsa, CC, everybody here really wants to carry. Everybody here needs resources desperately. So for ONIC, I actually thought they would go for the Moskov pick first, you know, a known pick, a known skill matchup against the Harith. Could be a win in that matchup, knowing Skylar, you know, I would assume that they want to trust him, but now I feel for DEWA, they're just going to set up for Maybe. We know how good Maybe can be when he's set up for success, and so far, they've done exactly that. They've gone for the Enabler and got the Kacha. ONIC, on the other hand, again, have gone for a greedy lineup with no front line, not even a utility jungle that usually is paired with the CC and Farsa.
So they gotta put Keyboy on a tank right now. And that raises the question, who will be funneled in this match, in this game, in game number 1? Obviously, like you said, a lot of greedy picks coming in from the Joy, from the Farsa as well. CC is also very, very greedy. And they ban out the Selena, one of Octa's specials. Now DEWA, what do they want to take out? They take out the Bruno. They will try to cone down the options for Skylar. Maybe they go for a last ban Ranger, and they're going to be set for game 1, I guess.
I'd say they're okay up against the Granger. I think they have to ban out, you know, these targeting heroes, basic attack targets, like Bruno, Moskov, so I'm thinking Moskov next.
That's a fair possibility. I think there's still possibilities here for ONIC. If they really want to go get a tank for Keyboy, that's an option. But if they want to just go with engage and crowd control and just play this around the early game, try and snowball and make sure that even with no front line, it doesn't matter because they out-damage DEWA altogether, that could be an option that we've seen them pull out before. And the fact that they ban away this Uranus shows to me that they really are wanting DEWA to not be able to stick around and take the damage and get vision, right? Because that is what you require. That's how your front lines can get advantage there if you're up against a comp like that just wants to do damage and snowball. And for DEWA, they're tightening down on that gold laner, removing a good source of poke and burst damage as well on the Granger.
They still ban out the Granger, but now then, the Moskov is up for grabs, and that's a very, very good way to win Skylar the lane as well. Up against a Harith, you have survivability with the Abyss Walker. But hey, Coach Adi, is it time for a Blazing Duet from Skylar? Yes or no?
Actually, that's a good shout. The Claude actually fits in. Again, Moskov Claude, this is heroes with Blinks, do really well against the Harith.
Yep.
And speaking of Blinks, there has been a hero in my rank games, particularly dominating the field, Natan, an old signature as well of Skylar that I want to give a highlight, a shout out here. The Hylos will be picked up first for Roam, so they put Keyboy into that safe Roam choice. DEWA now, question is, did he just go for glue? It seems like a composition set up perfectly for the glue, right? You get easy stacks on the Hylos, you can jump on any one of these members, and remember, The biggest counter to CC is CC. By that, I mean crowd control.
And the question is now, if they pick up the high loss, ONIC doesn't really have an in-it setter. The initiation will be very, very clumsy then. What do you think, Arashi, about this?
Sounds to me like they're gonna rely more. Whoa, hang on a second. Esmeralda and Hellcurt.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we haven't seen a Hellcurt in a long time.
Rome Hellcurt?
We have to wait and see, man. What's going on? The Esmeralda is something they've used before in the hands of Sorizo. Not as big of a surprise, but what? Hellcurt mid? Mid? Could it be? In theory, it makes sense. You can kind of clear, right? And you have really, really strong ganks. It's technically a bit like a Selena in a different way.
Yeah.
Now ONIC faced with this curveball, they answer back with a blazing duet for Skylar.
A good question asked by Prod, and it's answered here with a pick. Skylar on a signature hero.
Oh boy. This is the hero that
blazing duet from Skylar without using that RQ jersey.
Someone call Ranger and Mus. He needs to be here for this one.
He needs to.
He's gonna be hyped at home, man. This was the hero that Skylar was not allowed to play, banned away every single game in season 14? Is it 14, 13?
Last time he played, season 14, yes.
Yeah, so it's banned every single time he's on the stage. So it's something that used to be respected. It hasn't been seen for a while now. Let's see if he still got it.
Hopefully he still is able to operate behind that Claude. But hey, we talked about the picks that, you know, has blinks on the heroes. We shout out the Natan, the Moskov, the Claude. It's all about survivability up against the Heron, so obviously you need to be able to push forward, but here we go! The first match, the first game of MPL ID Season 16. It's the clash of the Sky Kings against the Gods. DEWA United up against ONIC with the Crown Prince, Skylar.
And it is a bold Hellcurt mid
Indeed.
that Octa's bringing to the table. We saw Lunox mid last season, Arashi. What do you think about the Hellcurt mid?
It's going to require a lot of help in the early game. You see Mueza immediately taking the brunt of that aggression. He's going to need a while to really start going, right? You don't have an innate like early game power like the Selena, right? So technically you can see Octa already trying to use the Hellcurt pressure to kind of roam around, do some damage. This is almost exactly like the roam Hellcurt playstyle. He's just doing it from the mid lane.
No regen. Used already.
Emblems now, Arashi. 5 games max.
You can see the tenacity being used for the side of ONIC, for Hylas, and for Skylar as well. Understanding the assassin presence on the side of DEWA, not having any business with that. And Mueza, as you can see, going full defensive here with the firmness on top of the tenacity. And with Mark going Festival of Blood, this means that I think the Esmeralda against the CC, that could be a pretty solid stalemate here in the EXP lane. So technically they've neutralized the CC presence. Look at the fans here trying to start up a play. But again, both teams not really having a lot of crowd control setters. I think the big moment is going to show up at the turtle fight.
Octa seems to be a very greedy person later on in this game because he brings out the execute as well with the Hellcurt. He's going to be there for the rotational plays, the ganks. It means that it kind of, you know, conjures that DEWA also wants to win the early game. They want to snowball quick as well with the Hellcurt, with the execute. And for ONIC, the Claude has to survive again up against a Harris. It's going to be a hellish first early few minutes, but now turtle fight.
Yeah, Mueza already going to caught the curtain, burns it down, falling down to the back, off to Sans, but he just keeps his ground, stays there, and gets turtle 1 for ONIC. Not much DEWA can do. Vans on his purple. ISO has retribution, walks up, and will be able to get in that red tree. He wins it out. Under the turret, taken low, but not down just yet. ONIC with an early win.
ONIC also up on the pounds for the early game. They want to snowball too. That kill up against Sans, or rather given to Ludpi. So the CC has a very good day up in the XP lane.
Definitely doing better than Mark right there, but that was a weird situation we saw from Mueza. Walking up and just getting taken out like that. Doesn't seem to be any response from him at all. That's definitely concerning if you're on the side of DEWA. But looking at the clash of eras here, the young blood and the veteran, Skylar and maybe, as you say that, Skylar the Blazing Duet trying to clear it out.
Skylar Best, Keyboy walking up as well, will be able to get that gold crab, or sorry, just gold cannonman. Both teams disengage.
All Skylar can do now is just farm up, maybe use the Blazing Duet to clear the lanes, make sure that he doesn't get ganked. Keyboy
is able to escape. Hawkins going to trap by Skylar now with the BMI forward. Kai jumps in with the electrifying beats, bans. Gets away with the puncture. And it's just ONIC doing some housekeeping, pushing DEWA out of their own jungle.
But as you guys were mentioning, man, no big crowd control tools available. The only real engage is Keyboy. And so if DEWA can keep the pressure up and actually pressure Keyboy to use a glorious pathway backwards defensively every single time, that means ONIC can't really follow up, can't really chase anybody down unless they want to put themselves in danger. And they will have a lot of tools available to kind of turn and counter-engage around. That's something that ONIC definitely don't want to really do, especially because they're only at a 1k gold lead. They can very much find a big moment here and turn it around. They have to really plan out and set up for this next hurdle take though, honestly.
Mark getting pushed, but Sans is on the rotational play here. Good pressure to Esmeralda, so low.
Oh! Predicted feathered airstrike from Sans! Wow!
Takes down the XP laner, and DEWA without the Esmeralda. Now ONIC, they have Prio on the turtle, and Lutpi is just gonna wreak havoc towards Mueza. There's no way they can contend this turtle for themselves.
Free for ONIC. Just like that, Arashi?
I mean, we were talking about DEWA planning out the aggressive moves. Look at Vance here, trying to get on Keyboy, leaving the orange. Keyboy is just too tanky at this point. That's an interesting situation, trying to push him away perhaps,
no.
but Mark, oh man, he's a target now.
The airstrike coming down, the falling Star Moon is right there, but what is the Esmeralda sustain to the burst of Sans?
Oh no, getting schooled by the Sky Kings. As Keyboy might get caught in trouble, but he's gonna be fine. He's a tanky, beefy boy. Just making way for ONIC and Skylar to farm up a bunch. He has the DHS. Needs that Trinity to get moving forward. Blazing Duet. Towards maybe.
Skylar. The Blazing Duet is zone to save the usual Blazing Duet from Skylar just yet.
Yeah.
No big team fights for now for that to happen. But for Mark, man, the fact that he went with the flicker here is making him so much more vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
No Purify to get out and, you know, dodge from some of those feathered airstrikes. So with Esmeralda, you're tanky, but you need to be able to proc your shielding, right, to get that extra tankiness. So when you get stunned up and burst it down immediately, man, ONIC have the tools right here to really nullify any kind of frontline presence because Mueza can't deal with the magic damage and Mark just gets locked down and deleted immediately.
I'd like to interject and argue that this Hellcurt pick, the later it gets, the harder it is to execute, but Lutpi will pop the picture.
3v1, no problem! Lutpi forcing Octa's ultimate, and it's free for ONIC to go bot lane, maybe! Can you survive? He has a flicker, the feather airstrike comes in, Keyboy locks him down in the backline as Kai walks in forward, no Zaman force to play with, Kai gets a kill, and Mueza is unable to answer. That's a free turret and kill for ONIC down below.
Ah, the Sky Kings again making the gods bleed, smiling down from the heavens. So ONIC is doing absolutely insane in this early game. Again, I was about to say this Hellcurt pick, the later it goes, the sooner it becomes. It seems like the Hellcurt pick will become irrelevant because as of now, 6 minutes, Octa still not able to get a kill. And the Dark Knight Falls not used enough effectively to become a good ganking tool, Arashi.
No.
With a 4k gold lead for ONIC, man, at this point, any misstep, and Sans even solo can kind of one-shot Octa as well. So even though he is the assassin here, he has to be careful not to be assassinated by the side of ONIC. He needs to find ways to get in the back, and he needs to use that ultimate for a high-value team fight. But ONIC are not going for a big 5v5. They're just going for 3v1s, 3v2s. They're using the pressure around the map to get guaranteed advantages here, whether it's gold, time, or cryo. And so DEWA are always one step behind.
Whoa! And he's gonna be taking long. Oh, his pathway! Give a Skylar to Blazing Duet for free! Into the backline he goes with Feather Airstrike supporting him. AOG defensively as maybe pops in the Zaman Force, dashes back and forth. Lutpi ties them up with the curtain call, and Skylar gets a turret in the mid lane. Mueza able to get away in time. ONIC are not giving DEWA any space to play with. It is a free tier 2, nothing from DEWA to answer that trade.
The first glimpse of Blazing Duet from Skylar. Finally shown there, but still only one kill for the Claude. But the later it gets, the sharper this Claude will become, the more damage it's able to exert. Now, for DEWA and Rashi, what do they have to do? What will this Hellcurt bring to the table when it's come to the late game?
I think at this point for DEWA, the only real thing they have going for them is they have burst damage. So they don't have crowd control, but at this point, it doesn't really matter when you're against a team with Purify on the mid lane and gold laner, right? Unfortunately, Octa is just so behind with only a Heptasis at this point at 8 minutes. He is just slightly irrelevant. I think Skylar can even 1v1 him, no issue, even without the Wind of Nature. So they need to try and find a way to wait for ONIC to overstay perhaps, just defend a little bit more, and then use that burst damage together and, you know, go for a 2-for-1 trade. Get a kill onto Sans or Skylar, because they have to try and find something with the burst damage. That's one of the only things they have at their disposal.
Sieging on towards the bottom side, but no. At least for now, Octa is able to exert side lane pressure, right? Just push out the minions to then create that pressure on towards the side lanes. And ONIC has to respond, and they do. Octa cancels his recall. He's gonna be fine on the Lord next on the eyes of the Sky Kings.
Look at the critical
Weird.
Rashi. Like,
They built such a good first phase draft, I feel, to just go for the Hellcurt mid in the end. I thought maybe it was Rome, maybe they would swap some things here, but now they have 0 prio, 0 clear. I mean, the clear kind of like, it's just Harren and Lance. And then even that's not really going to be enough to deal with the sieging potential of ONIC.
I think they're really relying on that Hellcurt doing well in the early game. But again, we talked about this a lot, Mirko. The God of Kacha isn't exactly the best early game aggressive kind of roam. Whew. So even when Octa was trying to be proactive there was nothing that the rest of DEWA could do to kind of enable him. And as you mentioned, the siege potential. Look at that, dude. It wasn't even a proper fight, and Sans is able to chunk down multiple members down to below half HP before the Lord is even in the picture. They were just having to answer so many questions at the same time.
As far as it's getting ridiculous. Now the Lord sieging on the base. DEWA might be able to stop this push.
Yeah, Holy Shield in the mid lane already taken out by their airstrike over to Mark. This might be a solo kill. Oh, flicker out from Mark. A big resource that I think would rather be spent from DEWA to try to engage, use defensively in their own base. And ONIC still have those enhanced minions to go for yet another siege down in the mid lane. Zaman Force popped in with a Glorious Pathway too as Keyboy looks for an angle. Octa using the Stingers to clear out the way, but now there's another up top and walks in, Thorn Rose by the wrist strike from Sans, reads it again perfectly. Mark disintegrates Kai with the electrifying beats as Sans flaps his wings inside of the base of DEWA.
Again, looking so clean and so perfect from the Sky Kings. Sans also with the 3 kills to his name. The burst damage uncontained by the gods. DEWA United bleeding to death. The crystal opened, but can they end it right here, right now? It seems like not yet. Outside. Oh, push!
Another one now reading the move. Kai jumping in the back, finding a killing spree. It's another turret falling up top. ONIC in dominant fashion, going in again. Vans and Octa tied up together with the curtain call. Ludwig diving in deep into the base. And they have another minion wave. It's still a 3v5. Now getting marked. HCC taken out by Kai. Blazing duet from Skylar. Over to Vans. Kai with the cleanup. ONIC with a match.